workout of the week, and we're going to be using kettlebells. This workout is all about using a kettlebell. So it's going to be a 15-minute AMRAP workout. So there's going to be, basically the format is to keep the intensity up, is you'll have 2 kettlebell exercises followed by an ab exercise, 2 more kettlebell exercises followed by an ab exercise, then lastly 2 more kettlebell exercises followed by an ab exercise, and you get to repeat the list and do it all over again. So basically there is essentially, think of it as like kind of 3 different groupings, 6 different kettlebell exercises, and then 3 different ab exercises. So we did this in person last night in class. Usually most people were in the 3 rounds, ranging anywhere from just barely getting 3 rounds to getting close to 4 rounds. So obviously depending on how fast you go and you move through stuff, depending on what weight you select for the kettlebell, is going to make a big difference in how quickly you finish this workout. Or I guess, sorry, how many rounds you get through during this workout. For the workout of the week, this week, I also wanted to include a really good warm-up. So if you're not interested in the warm-up and you just want to get after the workout, I'd say probably skip ahead like another probably 13, 14 minutes into this video, and that's where probably I'll be going ahead. And at that point, getting after the actual workout, where I'll do the exercise demonstrations, I'll give you some modification ideas, talk about what weights to select. Then from there, I will do the first round of the workout with you to kind of help set the pace, get you going. But then, like as you see in my other workout of the week videos, really it's you going at your own pace. So I don't need to do the full 15-minute workout with you. Just make sure you have a timer on and make sure you're ready to go. I will put in the description for this video a list of the exercises and reps associated with the workout. So make sure you either print it out by copying and pasting it or just write it down. Then from there, keep track of the amount of rounds that you do, and then to keep score if you can. I'd love to see you drop them in the comments for this workout. So like for instance, last night when I did this workout, I completed 3 rounds, and then I got through the 15 kettlebell swings, the 15 kettlebell triceps, 15 sit-ups, 15 goblet squats, the 15 kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls, the 15 Russian twists, and then I just barely finished. I had to really speed it up to get through the 15 kettlebell side shovels. I was boogieing to fly through that. So it's usually between, for most people, they said it was, about 4+ minutes a round. So for me keeping score, since I did 3 rounds, I wrote down 105 reps because that's what I completed, and that was my score for the workout that's shown over there on the whiteboard here in the Group X studio. So I encourage you, if you get a chance to come down to the Group X studio, because we have all the kettlebells you'll need for this workout, come down here, use the Group X studio to do it, and please write your score up on the board. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask myself or Joey down here. We can help you as far as showing you what exercises. Really, before I do the warm-up, just in case if you skip ahead and you kind of miss all the explanations, most of this stuff you've probably seen before, like the kettlebell swings, the triceps, the sit-ups that I do, goblet squats. The only really 2 for the most part that I think are going to need a real good demonstration, which again I'll re-show you later on, will be the sumo deadlift high pull, which is simply with a kettlebell, toes out, squatting down, coming up, and lifting under the chin. I like to tap the kettlebell to the ground in between reps. The other one is the kettlebell side shovel. I've done this in other workouts, but if you try to look it up, you probably have a hard time finding anything about this. This is simply a squat, holding on the kettlebell, and you squat and you come up into a curl, back down, squatting and curling. So that's pretty much that for some of the exercises in it. I'm going to go through a warm-up now just to get everyone loosened up for the warm-up. As I said, we're probably going to do about 10 more minutes for this warm-up. I'm going to go through some different stuff, so just kind of follow along now. We're going to start off getting the blood flowing with no impact burpees, all right? We're going to put the hands down, big step back, step in, up on the toes. We're just going to do 5 of these. Stepping back, stepping in, up, change the lead foot you step in with. There's 3, 4, and there's 5. All right, so now we're going to do some lunges. So you're gonna take a big step forward, kind of come down, lift those arms up, step back up and in, big step forward, lift those arms up. We're just getting everything warmed up and loosened up here. All right. Just reach those arms up, get that stretch. All right, now if you have a BBC, you can use the one down here in the Group X room. If you have a broomstick or a mop handle, I recommend getting something like this. You're just gonna go up and over. We're just gonna do 5 of these. There's 2. There's 3, just loosens up the shoulders. There's 4. And there's 5. Now we're gonna incorporate the lunges into it. So take that step forward, come back, and over. I was talking to somebody last night down here who has tight shoulders. Went through a bunch of different stuff to warm and loosen up the shoulders, which I'm gonna show you a lot of that stuff that I discussed with that person last night, because for this workout, you are gonna hit your shoulders. So I do wanna get those shoulders nice and warm before we do the workout. All right, overhead squat, arms up, 5 of these, toes out, squatting down, trying to keep that bar straight above your head. I don't have the best mobility myself in my upper back and shoulders, but I'm trying to push that bar away as I go down, trying to keep it above my head, trying to keep my chest up to avoid too much forward flexion. All right, now we're gonna do some inch lunges. I'm gonna have you put your hands down, walk out, and then for this one, I'm actually gonna have you walk your feet in to your hands, feel that stretch, walk back out. This time we're gonna walk our hands in towards us, feel that stretch, walk the hands back out, coming back in, and going back out, hands back in, last time. Now we're gonna hold this position here for a second. I want you to pump your heels down, getting those calves working. Just kind of bring those heels down and up, down and up. You should feel that stretch. I'm just gonna hold this for a little bit longer, pumping those legs. All right, now slowly stand up. You've been down for a while. Take that deep breath, make sure you don't get a head rush. All right, so now we're gonna do some knees to chest grabs. All right, so for these, you just wanna simply tuck your knee up like you're marching, do that grab. We're just gonna alternate doing these knee to chest grabs. All right, we're gonna do these for a little bit longer now as far as each one of these stretches. This is stretching the legs, a little bit of arms. Just a great way to prepare the body for the workout. All right, we're even just gonna throw in now a couple of squats. Sit down at the bottom, kind of bounce for a second, back up. Do whatever you want with your hands. Come down, try to get your chest up, bouncing the hip, maybe you can go side to side, rocking motion, get those hips loosened up. All right, now we're gonna do a hamstring stretch. So if you want, you can grab a mat. You don't necessarily need a mat. For this workout, I would recommend having a mat anyways. So you can now just take your feet, stick them out in front of you, lean towards the toes. We're gonna hold this for about a 20 count. So stretching your hamstrings is one of the things that I recommend the most. We tend to get our tightness and shorter muscles in the rear of our body. We tend to get injuries in our lower back, pulling the hamstring, throwing out a neck muscle in the back of our neck, or now we're going to switch, go to just one side, or an upper back muscle. It's less likely that we're going to tear a pec muscle, injure our quad, or strain an abdominal muscle. It's more so in the back of our body. So that's why we want to try to make sure we spend more time warming up, and especially making sure that our tight muscles in the back of our body are nice and loose. So switching legs again. Stretching this hamstring. All right, so now next on my list, we have some leg swings. You can step back up. like to put this down and then just swing the leg back and forth. So this just gets the hamstring loosened up. All right, switch legs. All right, now we're going to do some quad stretches. You're going to simply grab your foot, pull the leg up, and then go the other leg. You don't need to hold it for too long. If you want to hold it a little bit longer, you're more than welcome. Just kind of getting in position, pull up, maybe lean forward, and then switch legs. Try to find your balance. You look at one spot or object that tends to help with balance. If you have something to hold on to, you might want to. Just getting a good tuck. Coming up, we always find we have one leg that's a little more balanced than the other. I don't have the best balance in the world, but balance luckily is something we can improve and work at a little bit. All right, so now from here we're going to do some arm circles, coming backwards for a little bit. Then we're going to go forward. Rotate those arms forward, try and get these shoulders all nice and loosened up. After this, we're going to now go into some neck rolls. Just rolling that neck around. All right, reverse direction. All right, now we're going to pull your head to one side, get that stretch. Try to drop your shoulder down if you can. Feel that stretch in the side of your neck and your trap area. All right, switching sides. And we're trying to bring the arm down if you can. Trying to drop that shoulder down. Feel that stretch in the side of your neck and in your trap. All right, now after this, we're going to do some lateral lunges, going side to side. Just make sure you got nothing beside you as you step. Ooh, still feeling like I got a little tightness in my neck. Step to that one side, lean, get that stretch, back feet together, and then go to the other side. Lean, stretch. Now, what I'm going to do lastly here is we're going to take a step back to the wall. So if you have a wall behind you, you want to try to make sure that you put your arms against the wall, back and butt against the wall, and try to reach your arms up, staying as close to that wall as fairly possible, coming up and down, and just reach up and down. If you find you have a lot of tightness, this is a great evaluator. So you have to reach off from the wall like that, come up and down, or can you keep your arms back against the wall? You may find that you have an imbalance in your arms, but this is something I recommend to really try to do these on a regular basis. This will definitely help. It's something that I need to do more of. Try to loosen up my shoulders, coming up and down. It's going to feel really awkward, especially if you have tight shoulders, like you don't want to do it. You may make funny faces, close one eye, let your tongue hang out, because it is definitely difficult. All right, so that was a good, about 10-minute warm-up. Hopefully your body's feeling prepared for this workout. I'm gonna go through, talk about each exercise quickly, then I'll do the first round with you as we start the timer. But all right, I'm about ready to get going. I'm just checking something here real quick, making sure I was still recording. Because last time I checked, I was banned from Facebook for posting live videos, so I'm recording this because for some reason workout videos broke the community standard. Still don't know why, but I should be able to go back live here hopefully soon. All right, so for this workout, I would suggest picking a kettlebell that's manageable or switching between two different kettlebells. For a lot of these exercises, you can probably use a heavier kettlebell, but once you get towards the end, especially with those front raises, you don't want to have too heavy of a kettlebell. So I would say for most people, anywhere between 10 and 25 pounds is probably going to be a good appropriate weight to use, especially for the front raises. But then for a lot of the other ones, depending on what you want to get out of this workout, you can challenge yourself and use a 35, 45 pound kettlebell for a lot of these exercises. All right, well, I'm going to go reset the clock here, then we're going to go through each exercise. So we're going to be starting off talking about the kettlebell swing. All right, so for the kettlebell swing, typically to make sure that you have really good kettlebell swing form, you don't want to grab a weight that's too light for you, because if you do happen to grab a kettlebell that's too light, you tend to use your arms a lot more and you lose the efficiency of your form. If you grab a heavier kettlebell that you struggle to lift up in front of you, you have to use the form a little bit more. And so this is all in the hips and squatting motion, where you come down to get that hip thrust, creating that natural flow into the kettlebell coming up and down. So one thing to avoid on this, you don't want to arch your back by really shifting the hips forward. You're putting undue stress and pressure on your lower back. Then from there, it's really just for you how high that kettlebell you want it to naturally float. I like to have my kettlebell come up higher. Some people just let it come up to here. It's a lot of times a matter of preference and also how efficient you are in that momentum. And also you will get a little bit of assistance and extra work from those shoulders. So the next one is doing kettlebell triceps. So grabbing the kettlebell, I recommend hooking your thumbs in the middle, grasping the bell with your hands, going above the head, coming back and down, and coming up and down, working those triceps. So main thing on this is you don't want to have the elbows out. You want to keep them in to isolate your triceps more and not work your shoulder as much. Then from there, same thing, to avoid arching your back. You want to keep your abs tight. Like if somebody was to come up and poke you in the stomach, most people will clench their tummy or clench their abs. By keeping that tight core, that helps protect our lower back a little bit more, especially when doing weights above our head. So then, for the next one in this workout, it is going to be doing sit-ups. So for the sit-ups, I always recommend the butterfly style of sit-ups. So you're laying down on a mat, putting your feet together in front of you, coming down, touching the hands behind the head, coming up and grasping your toe area, back down and back up. So that's the sit-ups. Then for goblet squats, holding on to the kettlebell, and then from here, you want to go ahead and sit all the way down to where I like to let my elbows pretty much touch my knees or the inside of my knees, and then back up, down and up. Try to make sure too when you're doing this, because this is basically for you and for your own workout, even though we're trying to get as many rounds as possible, don't cheat on yourself with this stuff. So I like to see with the squats, not only getting down nice and low to the bottom of the range, but you're coming all the way up to where you're straightening at the top and almost like a little squeeze of the butt cheeks. Don't just come part way up and back down and limit the range of motion. So then the kettlebell sumo deadlift high pull, toes out, wide stance, chest up, coming down, grasping it by the handle, up and under the chin, back down and back up. Coming up and down. All right, so then the next one is the kettlebell Russian twist. This is one that you don't want to have a super, super heavy kettlebell. So you can try it with a more challenging weight. And so for the variations and modifications for this particular exercise, you can start off with your feet on the ground, holding on to the kettlebell, and simply twist side to side, back and forth. Or if you want it a little more challenging, you can pick up one foot, side to side, a little less stable, or both feet, getting that twist back and forth. Now I'll caution you, especially when holding on to a weight, I don't want you just twisting like all freely and getting a herky-jerky momentum. You want to control this through all motions of the exercise. As you come to the side, you're slowly preparing to pull yourself back, not just freely spinning out and yanking yourself back. It's just bad for your back and especially your spine. I don't want to see everything's rotating around. So then next we have the kettlebell side shovel, which I talked about in the beginning a little bit about. Holding a kettlebell by the handles, getting that squat, and then coming up into a curl. Coming down, coming up into a curl. Then from here, the kettlebell front raise, holding the kettlebell out in front of you, coming up and back down, just getting that front raise motion. And then lastly is the Supermans at the end of this. So for the Supermans, you're going to be laying down on your stomach. Ideally, you want to try to lift your arms and legs up off the mat and back down. So for this, especially as you're doing it for time, make sure that your technique and form is the most focused part of it. But again, if you're flying through it, you just get the arms and legs up, just kind of getting that quick movement there, putting a little bit more emphasis on lifting your chest and shoulders off the mat, getting a squeeze in the lower back, probably worrying less about how high you're getting your legs up, instead if you're doing a concentrated Superman. All right, so that is the list of the exercises. So it's 15 of each one of these. I'm going to go through and start this with you here shortly and do one round. So then we're going to start in 20 seconds. You can keep doing this on your own pace. But I'll just get it going with you. So if you want to get your timer ready, pause the video. We're going to start here shortly. All right, so we're going to be going 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. 15 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, to the triceps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, down to the sit-ups now. Transitions are where you can make up a lot of time in this workout. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. On to the goblet squats. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. On the kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, Russian twist time. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, kettlebell side shovel. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Front raises. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. On to the Supermans. Almost done with round 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. It was like under 4 minutes. I set a pretty good pace. Hopefully you can keep it going. Good luck with the workout. Hopefully you enjoy it. Leave something in the comments. Hit the like. Hopefully you enjoy these workouts. And hopefully I see you soon down in the Group X studio.